Dive into the chaos, here we go. Social media lunacy steals the show. Crazy sin just means wrapped up tight. Scroll through the madness every night.
Hello guys, it's Dylan here. Flu season has been a bitch. That is why we haven't done anything in like almost a month. I'm sick again right now. And Futon was sick last week, and then I was sick the week before that. So it's been a nightmare just sitting down to record shit. And this is old shit that we're watching. But I think I have a lot to talk about it, and I think that this is going to be really interesting.
And for all old drama news, stay tuned to Yong Yeah. So now we're Yong In.
Who the fuck is that one?
Oh boy. Do you remember that whole controversy with the YouTube guy who is a voice actor for Yakuza? And people making fun of him, and he had this big crash out?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. Well, that was Yong Yen. He also has a lot of beefs with Jason Schreier. Who's Jason Schreier right for now? Is he still with... it doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Basically, he just reads out gaming articles.
We are going back to another reoccurring guest, that being Nick Rekieta, or Rekieta, as some dumb people say. But
or
yeah.
Rekieta, as DSP says it.
That's a special one. Rekieta is definitely the weirdest one. But yeah, we're going to be watching 2 Nick Rekieta clips. I have them stitched together already. This is Nick Rekieta talking about torturing and murdering animals. Now, I want to get this out of the way ahead of time. I'm fine with people who hunt animals for sport. I'm fine with people who hunt animals to, like, eat them. That's okay. I understand that. And I understand that you do have to kill things. But, like, the main thing you want to have in you is some empathy, and not to just cruelly treat animals while you're killing them, or, like, enjoy killing them. Like, you don't want to be a psychopath. So I wanted to get that out of the way before we actually watch this. There are ethical and humane ways to kill an animal. I'm not mad at Nick just because he killed animals.
For killing raccoons, Ethan.
You should kill them. Raccoons are fucking assholes.
They're like, why would you kill raccoons? I'm like, I don't know. They were attacking my cats. They were stealing my cat's food, and then they were attacking the cats. I cared more.
So,
how are raccoons stealing his cat's food?
So Nick Rekieta is a lazy bum, and he has his cat food thing outside, and it is an automatic machine that will dispense cat food. And the raccoons saw how the cats get the food. So the raccoons started doing what the cats do to get the food, and then they were eating the food. That's what's happening, because Nick Rekieta is too lazy to feed his cats on a schedule, or to have the cat food inside his crack den. He is going to kill the raccoons for dare learning how to work the cat feeder.
Or give his kids any sort of responsibilities.
Yeah, or him any responsibilities.
More about,
so I gotta say, these look like 2 real stand-up guys. You know, some real professionals.
Oh yeah, you got a Southern flag frog guy. You got crackhead Abraham Lincoln with a bunch of Jack Daniels hung up on his wall. These look like 2 knockout guys.
You can always trust a guy who wears a baseball cap indoors.
I hate that Nick Rekieta is never centered in his camera. Like, he's always, like, down towards the bottom. He never has his camera angled properly. Ever.
I always joked that there was going to be a time where he completely slid off camera. Because over like that whole year, he just kept inching lower and lower down in his frame. and then he finally did it. Just kind of, he didn't have like Ethan Ralph like going backwards and falling on top of his piss bottles, but yeah, he did just kind of like slip completely off camera a couple times.
He looks like he's Destiny's height with how his camera's angled.
Except he can't pull in quite what Destiny does, I guess.
They are both cucks, though.
Yeah.
But
It's the wonky jaw that does it for Destiny. That brings the girls in.
is that an Xbox behind him? What the fuck is it plugged into?
Oh god, I'm trying to remember. It's something weird. It's like
I
an
didn't even think he was a
Xbox-themed
gamer.
fridge.
Oh, it's a fridge? Okay.
It might be. I could be confusing it with something
Probably
else.
got his one bottle of Jack in it that he can still afford.
No, you have seen that clip where he grabs the bottles off the floor and there's 20 of them within
Oh
arm's
yeah,
reach
he's as bad as Ethan, but at least he isn't pissing in the bottles.
that we
yet.
know of.
New 20-pound bag of food and it'd be gone.
Yeah.
Like in a day or
Raccoons,
two.
son.
And then
Wait,
I'd
20
have to go buy
pounds he's
another
putting
one.
out at a time?
He has a huge feeder, and it's so he doesn't have to pay attention to the cats for months. They can just activate the feeder and get the food.
It's like a bird feeder.
Yeah.
But the squirrels are in there breaking it.
They've had like so many different contraptions to make taking care of cats as lazy as possible because cats are smart. There was like one I saw at Walmart, and thank God I didn't get it, because it's like a self-cleaning litter box, and it was killing cats. It was like closing in on the cats and killing them. Like there's a lot of different gadgets out there that make taking care of cats as automated as possible. It's totally Nick Rekieta's L on this.
So I eventually just went out and started stabbing them to death with a knife.
Oh, that's a nice way to come back.
Yeah, I just stabbed them to death. I brutally murdered them. That's a nice hinge thing to do. Didn't shoot them, didn't poison them, didn't catch them. Just went out there and stabbed them to death.
I think the only time that I've started a video and gotten a worse introduction to a sentence from Nick Rekieta was where he was saying that you have to have pedophiles on your show.
Maybe he caught rabies. Maybe that's what's wrong with him now. He caught rabies from the raccoon fight.
Oh, we have to
'Cause that
kill
was
him to
funny.
find
That was
out.
funny. And then I got it. Wait, what?
They're very clever animals. This is one thing that you should know about raccoons. Like,
You're not that smart if I can confront a raccoon with a knife and a hammer and win in melee combat, Ethan. That's
I mean, I think you can confront practically any small animal with a knife and a hammer and win, if you're fast enough. You're all methed up. Yeah, of course you got speed on your side. Like, the raccoon doesn't stand a chance against a fucking meth head with a hammer and a knife.
Well, he wasn't able to win physically against Aaron Imholt.
Yeah, but give him a hammer and a knife and he might.
And you've seen Aaron Imholt.
Aaron
box,
Imholt
I
had
assume.
he had a bat, though.
Have you seen the clips of him boxing? Where
He
just
wanted to fight
gets
Ethan. I know
demolished in
that.
20 seconds or less?
Yeah, I know he wanted to fight Ethan Ralph, and he was confident in beating Ethan.
Well, anyone should be of that. Like, Keemstar wouldn't let Ethan in the ring because he can't defend himself.
Well, yeah, I don't think Ethan Ralph physically can get in a ring after his head got cracked open. He doesn't want to tell people, but, like, he's held together by silly putty. Like, there's no way he can legally fight anyone anymore.
no, that's
stupid
tough.
fucking
That's a matter. That's not a matter of brains. You know, it doesn't. You're bigger than a raccoon, presumably. You know.
Yeah, I love that Ethan Van Sciver just lets Rekieta shit talk. Also, Nick Rekieta's co-host is that glass of liquor. He's just always got it on screen. But yeah.
There are videos on my cutting room floor of where I have like a slide whistle playing for every time the glass like pops up into view, and like when it smashes up against his face and he's surprised that it's there.
He holds that liquor more than he does his wife.
The biggest raccoon. The biggest raccoon is not bigger than you, But what I'm saying is they're very smart. So I'll be down here drawing in the middle of the night. My wife comes downstairs and she goes, "The hose is on outside." And I'm like, "What?"
I didn't know your wife was black.
The hose is on.
Damn it. I thought that I got a clip where there's no horrible Nick Rekieta jokes. Now I have to go on this side rant. So
I don't even know if that qualifies as a joke.
here's the thing. Nick Rekieta is an abortion to comedy. He is the most unfunny person I've ever heard. His jokes could be used to torture people in terrorist cells. He is so non-funny that I almost want to illegalize hate speech just so he isn't legally allowed to talk anymore, because I don't like his jokes. He makes dad humor seem like it's actually laugh out loud funny. He makes 2006 Facebook memes seem like they're funny, and Facebook wasn't even made yet, and they seem funny by comparison. Fucking Photo Bucket, iFunny, anything is funnier than him. Reddit is hilarious compared to fucking Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta's jokes never fucking land, and he just sits there with a smug smile on his face while everyone else is just trying to piece together his humor. And I'm not lying here. Chris Chan is funnier than Nick Rekieta. I laughed when I heard "You don't have to tell me twice, but during the Stone Age." It doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's funny. A Cop at Denny's was so unfunny that it made me question life, and it made me sit there for like 20 minutes thinking about why did he tell this? What does it mean? How do I understand this? Like, he is so unfunny. I had an existential crisis trying to figure out why he thinks he can be a comedian. I hate Dick Masterson for inspiring him to think that he can be a comedian when Dick Masterson isn't even funny. And I know this is a giant fucking, like, spurg out. I don't care. Nick Rekieta is so non-funny, it actually fucking annoys me. And I never hear anyone else talk about how unfunny he is. Everyone else just sits there and waits and just fucking ignores it. Like, even the people trolling him. He's not funny. He is so beyond not funny.
Okay, Nick Rekieta versus Def Noodles. Who wins?
Nick Rekieta! Nick Rekieta is more non-funny than anyone else. I've laughed at SJW's jokes. I've laughed at jokes from like some of the most unfunny people ever. What's that? Amy Schumer. I've laughed at least once at Amy Schumer. It wasn't the way she intended, but I laughed at her at least. I've never laughed with or at Nick Rekieta. He's just that non-funny.
Have you laughed at a Def Noodles joke?
Yeah, when it's like, it's funny because it's something that shows like how fucked up he is. Like, yeah, I've laughed in that sense, but I don't laugh at any of Nick Rekieta's jokes. Like, I'm not laughing because the joke is bad. I'm not laughing because the execution is bad. It's not so bad it's good. It's so bad it's bad. It's just bad. In every fundamental way, he is not funny. And I want to give him, like, there's this fucking thing. I think he won one of the awards. It's like a cringe competition. It's like a lolcow competition they do every year. I want to nominate and give him unfunniest lolcow. I want him to have that title, and I want someone to give him a physical award that he can hang up behind him, so he'll always know, and everyone else who watches him will always know just how unfunny he is.
I hate that when we pause, poor George Carlin has to be in the more videos.
I turn off the more
Just
videos.
pronounce it
on
like
my
Eric
end.
July, you'll get it.
Okay. She'll be like, listen, the water's running outside. And I'll be like, what the hell? Like, she's like, did you...
Also, he laughs at his own jokes, which is the most insulting and childish thing you can do. Like,
Eric July will get it. They're a naturally funny people. Yeah, is that where he's going for?
leave it on? No, I didn't leave it on. So what the hell? These raccoons, they have little human hands, and they know how to turn a spigot
Yeah.
to get a drink of water.
I don't think he's
know how to turn a
listening. A spigot, it's like the little handle.
Yeah, but he mispronounced it.
Oh,
He
okay.
called it a spick.
Oh, Nick Rekieta isn't even fucking listening to him. He's just fucking looking at something else. He isn't even fucking paying attention. He's just waiting for his turn to talk.
Just watching chat.
So you'll be sitting there like
There's
just
no
having it'll
chat.
be like midnight, and they'll turn the spigot. They'll turn your hose on.
Oh, what is going on with his neck?
Sorry, they'll turn the hose
So does
on.
a stack of 50s. Ethan.
Oh,
How is
God.
that a response to anything? Like, I shit you not. I almost wish that I put face cam on again. Just so you can see that I never crack a smile. And I am viscerally angry every time he tries to tell a joke. And that's a pity laugh from him. That's a pity laugh from fucking Ethan Van Sciver.
Watch his neck as he's talking and bobbling
I
around.
heard myself say it. So you have to go out there like in the middle of the night, and you have to. And I'm like these fucking raccoons, and I'm like ratcheting the thing closed, so they won't be able to. I'm trying to I'm trying to put some muscle behind it so the raccoons can't do it again.
Well, good luck with that, Ethan.
They have little devices that you can put over it that lock it, and then they can't get access to it because they can't pick a lock. Like, there are solutions already.
Well, Ethan's got a lot of muscle to call upon.
Yeah, I don't trust those little assholes because they have like articulating thumbs and stuff. They can do things. They're like,
Nick Rekieta looks like an actual skeleton. He looks like an actual skeleton. He looks like the reanimated corpse of Abraham Lincoln. And one day, just like how everyone started calling Chris Benjamin Franklin well after I did, and everyone said I was crazy, then people are gonna call Nick Rekieta Abraham Lincoln one day. And because he's going bald in the worst way that one could go bald, he's going to need a hat to cover it. And it will be a top hat.
Not to harp on more about his neck, but it looks like an animatronic. Where he's like
He's a
squishing
wax
down.
animatronic of Abraham Lincoln, reanimated to tell the unfunniest jokes ever.
so anyway, I had to kill them because of the cats. So first it was a knife and a hammer that I had to use because I was dual
So
wielding.
you actually killed some raccoons.
Several, yeah.
So here's my thing, and I'm gonna give you the option here. Did he A, kill a raccoon, B, make this whole thing up, or C, kill some random animal that's actually like a different neighbor's cat, or just some slower animal that happened to be on his property?
I think he went out with a hammer and knife and hallucinated the rest of it.
I think he hallucinated it. I don't even think he killed the raccoon. Because, like, when he talks about killing the skunk later, it's the way I expect him to kill the skunk. But with the raccoon, it's like, me, warrior Rekieta, me challenge you to mortal combat. Like,
I don't think it was an actual raccoon. It was one of his kids trying to get something to eat.
They're trying to grab a can of SpaghettiOs, and he's like, no, that is my SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, dude, they were everywhere. They're eating I think they were breeding or whatever. Like
Yeah.
immigrants.
Breeding? Breeding? At the cat food? I think you would know if they're breeding. I don't think it would be a I think it would be a no.
Grins.
Yeah.
Illegal ones.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you're so funny. You're so funny. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. He's so fucking funny. Everyone laugh. Please laugh at him. Please. Not with him, at him. Just laugh.
They kept coming.
When they send their
they kept coming
raccoons, they
in
aren't
and
sending their
taking my
best.
cat's food. My cat was pretty tough. One of them, Skippy, he would fight them off for a long time. That cat lived outside for a long while before he got killed by something. But he would
He
fight.
probably got killed by a
What?
fucking raccoon. He probably got killed by a fucking raccoon. Like,
Oh.
it's what happens in nature. And it probably was a raccoon that killed the cat. But it's Nick Rekieta's fault because this wasn't a one-time incident. He knew the raccoons were causing issues. He knew the raccoons were doing it. And he waited so long to actually do anything about the raccoons. Raccoons are very easy to deal with. You just bait a trap, grab them, drive them out to the woods, let them go, and then drive back home. It's that easy. Raccoons are pretty fucking dumb when it comes to falling for traps. They're pretty easy to poison. They're pretty easy to shoot. He could have dealt with this problem at any point, but he was too busy fucking doing blow and fucking someone else's wife.
It's a lot more believable that one of his dumb contraptions or him like firing wildly at raccoons. Because I don't know, do you think he's ever fired any of the guns that he's had like loose lying around in the house?
Wait, I forgot about that. He does have guns. Why did he go out there with a knife and a hammer when he has guns? You could just shoot the raccoon once and it's dead. Like, you can kill a raccoon with a pistol.
Yeah, that's why I legitimately think that he hallucinated most of this.
He has killed a stuffed animal.
Fight these raccoons off all the time, but he wouldn't be able to kill them, and they would hurt the other cats. They'd come in with wounds and shit. We'd have to take them down to the vet, get antibiotics. It's like, okay. We have a farm vet though.
You're fucking bullshitting, because if a cat got attacked by a raccoon, they'd be worried about it having rabies. And there's no way to know if it has rabies unless you catch and kill the raccoon. So, like, he's bullshitting. He's fucking bullshitting.
I mean, he's made a stuffed animal want to die, but with his thought stream. But yeah, this isn't making any sense. Like, you know, DSP's story about not wanting to pay $300 for blood work for his son makes more sense.
Right? Like, so the antibiotics are like $12, and then the vet's like, well, if he does, he does. But so then I started killing the raccoons and then like leaving their corpses out in the woods so that they would see. And
Okay, Vlad the Impaler. It's a sign to the other raccoons not to fuck with me. That's not how it works. The raccoons won't know how that other raccoon died. That's not an intimidating thing. It's actually bad because the raccoon carcass is going to get diseased and attract all other worse type of things to come onto your property.
I wasn't paying attention to Ethan's face when Nick did that bad Ivan Drago thing. Someone told me he didn't even get it.
I refuse
because he
to
massacred
accept
it so badly.
I refuse to accept that he's out there impaling raccoons and then staking them on his lawn to show his dominance over other raccoons.
like a perimeter of their dead brethren and be intimidated and stay away. And it worked eventually.
I am Lord Balldo. You will respect my domain.
Eventually, like how many did he have to put out?
How many raccoons did you kill?
Like raccoon skulls out there like some sort of fantasy movie.
I have slain your brethren, and I will slow you as well.
But I upgraded to an AR-15. That got rid of them really fast.
That's overkill. That's fucking overkill. Don't shoot an AR-15 blindly into the woods, you dipshit. You don't need an AR-15 to kill a raccoon. Like I said, a pistol, a standard fucking pistol, a hunting rifle, at the most. If you want to get really ballsy, you could go for a shotgun. But an AR-15 is way too much to kill a fucking raccoon. And you want to be sure that you're actually even shooting the raccoon.
Again, he might have just gotten a gun and then hallucinated the fact that he warned off the raccoons with it.
This could be played in court. The Nick Rekieta talked about shooting an AR-15 randomly into the woods at raccoons.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, these raccoons are a little bit like
I would
indigenous
think so.
Americans. I don't want to say Indians, but
Oh wow.
Latino Americans?
So are we just racist now? Like actually fucking racist? Is that the thing? Because like
Ethan's competing now.
Because, like, I thought their whole thing is like they whistle to white supremacists, but they're not white supremacists. Isn't that like the whole grift?
Yeah, like the whole like I support Fuentes because he names the Jews. It's like like everyone in your camp names everyone as a Jew, and it's kind of
when you straight
Jews
up
kind of name themselves.
When you straight up compare getting rid of raccoons like killing Native Americans, you know what? It is kind of like killing Native Americans because the fucking raccoon's land and you're killing it for no fucking reason. It is kind of like that. But also, like, calling Native Americans fucking Injuns? Like, really?
He's competing for the dumbest things to say.
Is he a fucking 1920s grandpa? Who fucking says Injun anymore?
Casino Americans.
Because basketball Americans accept.
Casino Americans. That would be Kino Casino fans, and I understand why Nick Rekieta hates them.
Accepted nomenclature. I think Casino American has to be accepted, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you have a pet and you let your pet outside, they're basically like white settlers.
Even Ethan's trying to move on.
They have a home and everything.
No, he's continuing. He's continuing. He's basically saying that cats and dogs are colonialists. And they fucking terrorize, pillage, and destroy all of the ecosystem. Which, you know what? He's fucking right. Cats and dogs are an invasive species. They've literally made other species of animals go extinct. So yeah, no, Ethan Van Sciver is right, but he doesn't even understand why he's right. And why it's
Cats
fucked.
are canceled.
Cats are canceled, yeah.
Your home is like Europe,
Right.
And you let them out there, and in the wild, there's this whole culture of like vicious,
Your home is like
unsettled, non-domesticated creeps like raccoons, squirrels. Squirrels are not a problem. Don't worry about that.
Just saying. Is it wrong for the raccoon to kill a cat for territory and food, but right for the cat to kill a bird?
How are squirrels not a problem?
It's your job as a pet owner to protect your pet's life from other animals. But morally and righteously, no animal is in the wrong for killing another animal. It's their instincts. But because cats are domesticated, you are responsible for that cat's life. So you are supposed to take care of that cat and try to prevent it from being brutally murdered by raccoons.
And squirrels will do more damage to your house than a raccoon will.
It depends. It really depends on how many squirrels there are. Like, yeah, squirrels can be crafty little fuckers, but raccoons can be too.
But like, if they're in your house, a raccoon will like, fuck some stuff up, but it will kind of like try to hide at least.
Raccoons tend to not stay in one place for too long. Squirrels will make nests and shit. Raccoons tend to like hide somewhere else and come around just to steal your shit. That's my experience with them.
Mm-hmm.
The raccoons are tough though, and so your cat is out there dealing with these engines essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
That's complete horseshit. Like, I'm not even gonna humor this beyond this point, but like literally, there were so many tribes that were very fucking pleasant, who welcomed settlers and tried to live with them, like tried to coexist with them. There were plenty of Native American tribes that were willing to make deals and were willing to like barter with the colonialist. But the colonialist job was literally to come there, take everything, and enslave everyone. It was like literally in their manifesto to do so. There were some good colonialists, yes, but they literally thought that it was their right by God to steal everything from these people. So it's more backwards than you think, because the Indians weren't stealing the Native Americans. I don't want to use his terminology. They weren't stealing the fucking shit from the settlers. The settlers were the raccoons. They were the ones coming in and stealing everything from everyone. And then if you tried to resist, they'd kill you. Like, that's literally the truth of it.
I like First Nations. That sounds pretty badass. Well, look at Ethan's stroke mouth here. Like,
well, he's saying the stupidest shit ever. He better have a stroke. He's saying some of the stupidest shit I've heard all week. He better have a stroke mouth going on.
The scariest thing is comparing their skin complexions.
You know
like,
what Nick Rekieta looks like? He looks like a fucking Muppet.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like someone's hand is up his throat.
And Ethan looks more unhealthy than Nick Rekieta.
Nick Rekieta looks like Kermit the Frog. That's what he fucking looks like.
And Ethan looks like he can't fit his head through that shirt.
Ethan looks like... You know in Smash Bros, when you go to different color palettes for characters? He looks like a slightly different Ethan Ralph. Like, he's a slightly color-hued Ethan Ralph.
He doesn't have the Kino Casino hat. Yeah.
His face isn't as red and the outfit's slightly different, but it's Ethan Ralph.
That belong
Like
to
a
the woods.
frontiersman.
Yeah, they're completely different. You can't communicate with them. They don't have smallpox infected blankets to give these raccoons. They're really like relying on their wits and their claws and everything. And
Yeah.
it really takes these animals who have been domesticated, that are good friends.
That's the really fucking stupid thing though. If like, I swear to God, after this one last interjection, I'm ignoring all the shit that Grandpa says. He's off his meds and he's not paying attention to anything. But if you look up why quite a few flightless birds went extinct, it's because white people brought cats to that area and then left the cats there, and the cats fucking killed all of that species. That species was completely fucking defenseless. So this whole fucking like allegory of cats being like the fucking victims of raccoon hate crimes is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid because it's nature. Survival of the fittest. The cat would just as likely kill a bird or kill a mouse or kill a rabbit than the fucking raccoon would kill the cat. It's all fair. It's all fair in fucking love and war, and the fucking animals are at war for food and resources. Meanwhile, when it comes to settlers versus Native Americans, they're both civilized. They both can communicate with each other, and neither one of them needed to wipe each other out.
Well, I want to see where he's going with this idea that cats should engage in biological warfare.
Human beings, and puts them in a tooth and claw situation, which I don't know if they're meant for that, you know.
What?
Yeah, well, cats are mean.
Cats
but
aren't
cats
meant
are
for
apex
tooth and claw
predators of the world they
confrontation?
inhabit.
Cats and raccoons are almost the same damn animal. Cats and raccoons are almost the same damn animal. They act the same. They're just as intelligent. They're just as crafty. Like, literally, the only difference between a cat and a raccoon is the raccoon's tougher than the cat. Like, raccoon is cat on steroids.
I'm pretty sure cats have teeth and claws.
They do. And if a fucking puma or a bobcat approached a raccoon, it'd eat the raccoon. Does that make the puma or the bobcat evil? No.
When you put a cat outside, and you've got a big cat's 20 pounds, big raccoon's like 40.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
like,
keep your
well,
cats indoors.
They're not gonna win. Like they're just,
Why
like,
are your cats? This is the problem. It's just like with your kids. Why is your cats having to fend for themselves? Why aren't you taking care of them?
Meanwhile, his dog is locked in the bathroom.
His
cats
kids are
locked
having to fight for
outside.
SpaghettiO rations.
And how's his cat 20 pounds?
I
An
don't get
outside
it.
cat.
I don't get how his cat's 20 pounds. I wouldn't say my cat's 20 pounds.
I mean, my last cat was 20 pounds, but that's because his torso was the same length as mine. It was a big, big cat.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that Nick Rekieta's like fucking cats that only get random food from the feeder would be able to be 20 pounds.
Yeah, mine wasn't fat. It was like 20 pounds stretched out across like a over 2 feet. It was a big ass cat.
I've dealt with raccoons. I wouldn't say raccoons are 40. Raccoons are only like the size of a small dog. Like, I wouldn't give raccoons 40 pounds.
Let's see, what does Google say raccoon weight is?
I'm gonna be shocked if it's 40.
20 pounds.
20 pounds. That's fair. Raccoons are about the size of a dog.
And that's the upper length. It's between 10 and 20 pounds.
Yeah, no, Nick Rekieta's full of shit. He's absolutely full of shit. And I would say my cat weighs anywhere between 5 to 10 pounds, and that's completely healthy.
And it can be as low as 7 pounds for an adult raccoon.
My cat's a kitten, though, so... yeah.
They might fight him off for a while if the raccoon just sees no reward. But raccoons
Also,
are dumb.
raccoons and cats can coexist, and often do coexist. Like, they will actually, like, let each other take the food and share the food. So it doesn't even have to be, like, a survival of the fittest thing. It's just Nick Rekieta has set up this stupid feeder to where only his cats can get food. And he isn't taking any other precautions to get rid of the raccoons. There are so many different steps that he could do to get rid of the raccoons, but instead, he'd rather go full on fucking Skyrim and run out there with a hammer and a knife and try to fight off the wild raccoons.
Yeah, because he was saying that he was dual wielding.
Yeah.
As if that's something to make it even less believable.
He's got fucking knife with 5 damage and a hammer with 20.
You said they're clever. They're actually stupid. Because I found this out when I got the AR-15.
They are
Which is why
very
they're
fucking
outsmarting
clever. It isn't going to be able to survive an AR-15. That has nothing to do with one's intelligence. If you got Albert Einstein and then aimed a gun at him, he isn't going to magically dodge the bullet. It has nothing to do with intelligence, you fucking mongoloid.
There's like a pack of raccoons running around my yard.
Mm-hmm.
There is no
Comparing them
way.
to your own intelligence again, which is not.
No, I said they were dumb. I didn't say they were smart. And so what they did.
What?
What? That is the first time I've laughed at something he said, but it wasn't a joke, so I didn't contradict myself. But what the fuck does that mean? Yeah, that is what you said. You said they were dumb and not smart. I don't know I don't think he knows anything that he's saying.
Well, Ethan doesn't.
I
Ethan's
chased
still
them. I was
thinking
just
of
trying to
another
get rid of them
racist
and get
comment.
them away from where my kids are.
Ethan is just sitting there thinking, man, white is right.
How do I bring this back to engines?
How do I
Can I work
bring
in a
this
Redskins
back?
reference?
How do I bring this back to shitting on brown people?
They climbed up in a tree. I'm like, well, that was really bad. You have nowhere to go. They're just like, blam, 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 and they just start dropping. Right? That was the end of the
Yeah,
raccoon
sure.
problem. in my house.
Bullshit. I do not think that he could shoot anything down from a fucking tree. Bullshit. There's no way that his methed out self. He's out there high as fuck, shooting at anything, thinking he's killing it.
It's like the Cabela's Dangerous Hunt game, where you just aim at any tree and fire, and 5 jaguars fall out.
His wife comes out there and he's just down on the ground foaming, and he's like, they're in the trees, man. They're in the trees.
Bang, bang, bang.
I fought in the
It's
raccoon wars, and this is my thanks.
Honey, that gun isn't loaded. We're using all the bullets for coke.
But the best part about that is since I homeschool, that was categorized by the FBI as a school shooting.
I'm gonna go full fucking Final Fantasy on you. Ha ha ha! Like, he is so non-funny. Like, how do you make a school shooting joke not funny? Like, you could have gone full Mumkey Jones and made it hilarious, but you told the school shooting joke in the only way to which it isn't funny.
How far back do you think he came up with that and has been working his way there?
I don't think he thinks. I think he just says shit and then hopes it, like, clicks. You know how Christian has random access humor? He just has random access. He just says anything and hopes that it makes a joke in the end.
Well, there's so many holes in his brain now that his topic just falls in there and comes out the other end.
You know the
onto
South
something.
Park joke where it's like the manatees pushing random balls to make Family Guy jokes? That's his brain. That's his brain every fucking day when he's trying to come up with a joke. That pity laugh!
Oh,
Quit
God.
pity laughing! You're a fake bitch, Ethan Van Sciver. You're a fake bitch.
Grandpa's missing his teeth.
I caught a
Okay,
skunk.
so this is the second clip. This is when he was not as cracked out. This is a more honest Nick Rekieta. This is a more together Nick Rekieta. His face is still red because he's a fucking crippling alcoholic. But this is before he became a crippling drug-addicted alcoholic. Now listen to how he describes dealing with fucking not squirrels, fucking fuck.
When's the last time you think you played
Skunks.
Warhammer?
I have no idea.
Skunk in a live trap. That was the worst.
How did you get rid of it? Did it try to spray? I would imagine that would happen.
It tried to. So here's what I had to do. The worst part about this. So I was trying to catch a stray cat.
Why?
That was fighting with one of my other cats.
See, now that calls into question the raccoon story. Was the raccoons really raccoons? Or did he go around killing every neighborhood cat? Because, like, the odds of killing a raccoon with a knife and a hammer are smaller than killing a domesticated cat with a knife and a hammer.
I don't have the requisite life experience to to comment on that.
A raccoon gives you rabies, cat doesn't.
My
Oh,
goal
good.
was to catch
I
this
just
cat
noticed the
because it was a
chat.
monster.
He's posing the cats like they're monsters now, too.
Check
I'm
JC
glad
Jones in
Ethan
the chat.
isn't here.
Check JC Jones in the top chat there.
Oh, no.
It was a big beefy cat, and I thought if I can catch this cat and keep it around my cats and get it domesticated, I wouldn't mind having
What?
it around because it'll kill raccoons. And
What?
He
So-
wants to go prison rules. He wants to get like a big ass buff ass cat and to have it kill raccoons. It's just gonna bully your other cats and steal
So-
your cat food.
The stray cat is supposedly beating up your cats, and you're trying to catch the cat to train the cat to fight raccoons.
He's like, "You son of a bitch, I'm in. I need you to fight raccoons."
That is going to be so clipped, Nick. Yeah, you're right, Carmen.
and so I was gonna catch this cat in a live trap. Well, I shine my flashlight on the live trap, and it's a skunk. And the bad part is I had to drive to
So do you think there was a stray cat, or do you think it was just a skunk and he's that fucked up at all times? Look
I
at
think
how
he-
many liquor bottles there are.
I think he has a punchline, and he's making up this whole thing to try and get there.
Texas from Minnesota that day.
Did you know I'm from
So,
Texas?
I walked up very carefully and I clipped a leash, like one of those yard wire leashes to this thing. So it's like
Just warning you, this one isn't funny. Like, the raccoon thing is funny because he's claiming that he's running around chasing raccoons with knives and hammers. But this one is just bad. Like, this one is bad. So, anybody who's watching this that is, like, squeamish and doesn't like hearing really fucked up shit, you should leave. Because this is the only warning you're getting.
You should leave.
He goes into detail about how he tortures this animal.
You can just give them a timestamp.
I ain't giving them a timestamp. I won't know when the timestamp is. We fucking procrastinate a lot.
20 feet long.
Mhm.
And then I drug the skunk across the yard to a pond. And slowly walked kind of back and forth, and the cage kind of went into the pond, and I had to drown the skunk. And so I drag it in, and I felt really bad because like the pond was flooded, so it wasn't deep. It was way out past the border of the pond normally. It wasn't deep. So like I could still see the top of the cage and a little skunk paw doing this, and then it stops. And so I'm like, oh, okay.
He's claiming that he saw the skunk begging for life, trying to cling on to whatever he can to get out of his watery grave, and he has watched it.
Okay, how did he get how did he get the cage from his porch to the lake?
Why can't he just cage the raccoons also?
So, presumably he is carrying this, correct?
He drug it. He tied a rope to it and drug it into the woods. That's what he said.
What happens when you scare a skunk?
Yeah, that's what he's afraid of. He's a giant pussy, so he threw the skunk in the water so it wouldn't spray him.
I think this is physically impossible for Nick.
So I pull the cage out, and I'm about to get the skunk out of it and throw the corpse off in the woods so it doesn't stink up the whole yard.
To let the other skunks know not to fuck with me.
Which is why I'm dragging it so I'll get the stink
Yeah,
all over
it's
the
still gonna
entire
stink.
yard.
It comes back.
Nick is very
it starts
tall.
breathing again.
He would
So I
have had
take-
to. He would have had to bend over to this cage to get anything done.
He said the skunk coughed up the water and started breathing again.
the cage and I throw it back in the water, and I left it there for like,
This is worse treatment than what terrorists get. Like, he is brutally murdering the skunk. He's torturing it.
30 minutes, because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you shoot a skunk, it will spray like crazy, way worse than anything you've ever seen. So there's nothing you can do with it. So the skunk made basically skunk.
By the way, I've seen people catch skunks. They'll catch them, they'll drive them out to the woods, and then they'll just let the cage open and walk away. They'll have like a little rope that they pull to open the cage, and the skunk will just run.
Okay,
There are
I gotta
humane
see
ways
this.
to catch skunks and release them.
If you shoot a skunk, does it actually
I mean, I assume it could spray when it dies.
release everything at once, as if it's like a stink bug or something?
I'm assuming it could happen as a death reflex.
Skunks can be dispatched using a syringe and acetone.
The
Ooh.
fuck?
Oh, what
We
the-
need to gas the skunks.
Shooting is another method of euthanasia. Okay, shooting a skunk almost always causes it to spray,
Okay, so
and therefore is
Nikrikata's
not
right.
recommended unless
Drowning
in an
it is the
area
option.
where the odor will not be troublesome. So what's better is to drag the skunk across the ground a good 50 yards.
And drown it in your drinking water. That's a smart idea.
The
Skunk
golden
tea out of
rule
my
is to
pond.
not upset the central nervous system. Punch a hole in the skunk's heart and or lungs, and the critter will pass quickly and calmly.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to humanely kill anything. He doesn't want to, like, nicely kill it. He wants to fucking torture it.
I think like one punch manning a skunk is not calm.
The skunk is like, it's about to spray, and he's like, "You're already dead." The skunk just fucking explodes.
And then right before we left, I pulled it out. It had been gone for a while then, and got rid of the body. But that's just
If I changed this fucking, like, if I blacked the screen, you could think that that's JF admitting to murder. Like, why the fuck are you describing it like that? I disposed the body.
I put the skunk up in my I was going to put it in the walls, But then I thought, drive it into the woods.
I thought the skunk it needs to be free, so I put it in the cage and dunked it in the water, where he could be free with the fishies.
So quick derail. Like, didn't he originally say that he drove his potato out to the beach and left her there? And now the story is that he took her into the woods?
I don't know if he ever did the beach. I wouldn't doubt it, but from what I've heard, all of it, it was the woods. And he said that he deliberately avoided getting caught on any camera doing it. He described it in the most sus way possible. They are investigating me for murder, and it is bullshit. I
Which is why I
immediately got with
renovated the
another
house.
woman and tore up the house to make sure that there was no signs of blood. Okay, back to fucking animal Hannibal Lecter here.
That was just a shame.
Animal J.
That was a
Smith.
shame. But I knew I couldn't shoot it because I did have a skunk go in one of our window wells.
Because I was too
the
drunk to
prior
hit it.
year, and I shot that thing, and it sprayed, and the room that was attached to that window was not usable for something like 6 months.
Wow.
Because it was so brutal. So drown your skunks, y'all. It's the only way to do it.
Don't drown your skunks. Don't drown the skunks. You could go on YouTube and look up catch release skunk videos. There are plenty of humane ways to deal with skunks. There are people you can call that will catch the skunks for you and relocate them.
Is he saying that he shot a skunk next to an open window?
He's saying that he killed it in a window way and it stunk up the whole area for like 6 months.
Ah.
I'm shocked he didn't try to wrestle with the skunk like he did with the raccoons.
This is a...
he walked up with a knife and a hammer and it sprayed him in the fucking face and he's like, that's it, I'm getting the gun.
God. It's amazing just how stupid he is on things. Like, have I showed you the clip of him trying to describe working on a car?
No.
Oh,
But
God.
look at his face right now. Does he look like anyone who's remorseful for having to kill these animals in brutal ways?
Where's the clips? Not
Have you ever
a car
killed
guy.
animals in close quarters combat?
Have you ever killed animals in close quarters combat, Futon? Have you wrestled with the animals?
Well, not to toot my own horn here, but as I was learning Krav down in Israel,
You had to hit a bear in the nuts.
I can't even come up with a story stupid enough to fit in with
Did
this.
did Gila Klein show you how to hit a bear in the nuts?
No, can't say that.
German
I have. Can't say that.
suplexed it.
I have because I live out in the country and I made a very dumb choice.
He made a very dumb choice. This is one of the first and last times he'll ever do that.
That we had raccoons eating our cat food.
So this is the more sober, quote unquote, Nick telling the story again about the raccoons.
Get outdoor cats, and I was going through like 16-pound bags
in
of
the
cat
past
food
tense?
in like
Now it's 16. In the past, it was 16 pound. In the fucking present, he says 40 pound cat food bags.
Well, inflation.
3 days. Food in like 3 days, because these big raccoons would come in and they just, I didn't want to go out in the winter, especially. You don't want to go outside every day and drop a scoop of cat food, so you just get one of those big automatic feeder things.
See, he's more honest here. He actually describes the device, so he doesn't have to do anything.
And so I'm filling up this thing, and I trapped 2 of the raccoons in the shed, and I had this.
Now, this is how he killed the raccoons. I didn't want to spoil it earlier. I kept things to myself. When he talked about killing the raccoons with a knife and a hammer, it wasn't that he ran up when they were in the feeder. he trapped them in his shed. So they are trapped. They can't get out.
Wait, how much can an outdoor feeder hold?
I would say it could hold a decent amount if you go for the higher end ones.
Like 16 pounds?
Yeah, I would say that.
Let me see here.
That's pretty practical. I have one that can hold like 2 to 3 pounds. Mine isn't like an automatic one though. It's just when he scoops out food, it'll slowly refill it.
Okay,
It's
the
starting to
ones
get
I'm
annoying because
seeing-
it keeps destroying it to just get all the cat food at once.
The ones I'm seeing here for outdoor cats. Oh, okay, never mind. There's one that holds up to. No, he had to build it himself. That holds 35 pounds.
Yeah, no, 40 is kind of a stretch. I think 16 is practical. I think there would be higher end ones for 16.
Bright idea that I'd go in there and just kill the animals up close. And so
So he has trapped these animals in the shed where they cannot escape. And now he has a knife and a hammer.
go and I lock myself in a shed and I have a light and I have a hammer and a
What?
knife.
He has a fucking flashlight in his mouth, a hammer in one hand, and a knife in the other.
While locking the door.
Yes.
With what?
With his toes. Yes. He's like who was it? Was it Beowulf? He fights completely naked.
I think it's more like a Gmod.
Because this is before I owned a gun. And then I just realized that I had locked myself in a shed with freaking raccoons.
He locks himself with the raccoons, and the raccoons are like, "You're locked in here too." And he's like, "No, you're locked in here with me."
And this is how I analogize what's going to happen is
Ooh.
I was never in more
That's
danger
a big word for a little girl.
from those raccoons than I was when I was right about to kill them. Because they were cornered, they were terrified, and I had to get very close.
Such a menace to his cats. They immediately cower and hide in a corner, begging for mercy. As Nick Rekieta's like, "I have to do this. Die, die, die."
Okay, he's full of shit on the size of the
you guys
cat
live
feeder.
live out in the country. Live out in the country. You find all sorts
All the chat is like, "What the fuck? Why? You're sick. What the fuck, Nick?"
of ways to kill animals that are threatening your family and your livestock.
What did you think? Because it's almost an hour right now, and I want to take a break. My voice is dying.
Sorry.
What did you think about Nick Rekieta's epic warrior's tale of the survival of him and his cats against the invading Native American raccoon and skunk menace?
The problem is that there's bits and pieces that sound plausible for how stupid he is, but everything connecting those bits makes no sense. Or it's something that's physically impossible, or it's a product that doesn't exist because he's not building it himself.
Details change too about like how he killed it, the scenario in which it happened. Like the details are not staying the same.
Yeah, if he had someone build the feeder for him, he would be like, I have this guy.
Maybe he doesn't
he
know
would just
how
keep
much
saying
his
a
cat
guy
food
over and
actually
over.
weighs. Maybe it's like a 5 pound of cat food, and he's like so cracked out, he's just like, it was a 50-pound thing of cat food, and it's actually just 5, and he just imagines the 0. His arms are so weak and frail, he thinks it feels like 50 pounds, but actually it's 5 pounds.
I had a guy load it into the car for me.
Yeah, I have these people who load it in for me and take it out whenever I say. It's like with my wife. That's how you tell a joke, Nick Rekieta. That's how you tell a joke.
One of the best bits from the car guy one is the guys he's telling the story to. They are car guys, and one of them just starts laughing at him. He's like, do you pay a guy to piss through your cock for you?
Yeah, he is so fucking out of touch with everything. those paintings that you see all over there, he's paid thousands of dollars for those paintings, and he doesn't hang them up. He just leaves them there. He just wants to tell people that he paid for them. He's such a fucking schmuck. I honestly dislike this guy. Like, he is one of my favorite lolcows just because of how unaware he is. And he still thinks he's going to win his lawsuit. He still thinks he's going to win his criminal suit.
Or he's going to say, well, I said I was going to win it because it's funny.
I'm really hoping that it ends with I'm really hoping that it ends with Aaron versus Nick in Mortal Kombat. Nick has his sword and hammer. He's upgraded. It's a sword and a mallet. And fucking Aaron has his shield and his fucking lance, and they're gonna go at each other, and it'll be a battle to the death. May the better cuck win.
The problem is I've seen Aaron fight, and it was embarrassing.
Can Aaron kill something with a stick?
No.
Oh no, Nick's gonna win. We're gonna be stuck with the cop at Denny's jokes. Nick is pretty efficient with a hammer and a knife. He killed a family.
If anything, Aaron will end up stabbing himself.
Damn. I mean, he approached Nick with a bat, but like Nick has never told a story where the bat was actually swung or did anything. And then Nick immediately like started bashing his head into the wall or something. So like Nick did more damage to him than fucking Aaron did.
For anyone looking for the fight footage, I think I saw it on his Facebook, but he took it down, and I think the only place to find it now is on the farms.
Okay, so that was the wonderful world of Nicholas Rekieta's Animal Mortal Kombat Showdowns. He brutally murdered a family of raccoons that were just trying to eat and get by. He waterboarded and fucking drowned a skunk who possibly wasn't doing anything at all, because he didn't mention the skunk stealing anything. He wanted to kidnap someone else's cat to turn into a raccoon warrior. And he felt like it was a good idea to brag about this shit on stream. And Chuds like fucking Ethan Van Sciver will tell him that he's a fucking Chad for that.
And I've never seen a skunk by itself when there's food to be found. Like, I've seen a skunk by itself when there's no, like, food for the nothing around that the skunk can feed on. But as soon as there's, like, as they find, like, a garbage dump or, a skip or something, like, there will be, like, 6+ skunks there.
I think he's just a psychopath who gets off to killing things that are weaker than him. That's what I think.
There's not a lot of that.
I know. That's why he has to go after small animals, like a school shooter.
Oh God, no, you're not gonna bring. You're calling back to his
school
joke.
Shooter joke. Yeah. How often is it that the crackhead teacher is a school shooter, though?
Oh.
But anyway, stay tuned for next week when we cover something else, hopefully, unless the flu kills both of us.
It'll be my turn.
So yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. If you like it, hit the like button. If you really like it, share it around. And if you want to see more, then subscribe. Bye, guys.
Yong out.
Dive into the chaos, here we go. Social media lunacy steals the show. Crazy sin just means wrapped up tight. Scroll through the madness every night.